Newsfirst Newsline with Faraz Shaukat Ali.
And thank you. This is Newsline live. Well, actually, today is not live, but it's a recording, and it's coming to you from the Newsfirst studios in Dawson Street in Colombo. And our guest today is Mr. Shavindra Ferdinando, who is, of course, the news editor at that wonderful paper, The Island. Well, hello there, Shavindra, and thank you very much for being on the program. I thought I'd ask you a very simple question, and I think it is reflective.
Nothing simple with you for us.
No, but honestly, this is very simple. It was posed to me by one of these taxi, one of those little pick meetings. And he said, he was not very old, he was a middle-aged fellow, and he said, why is there so much of secrecy? Why can't they just tell us now who's going to be the candidate? And I thought, that's a good thing, actually. Is it because they all of these don't know, or what? What is it? Why the secrecy? Why can't RW or MR or whoever say openly, look, our candidate's going to be so-and-so?
For us, all our political parties, the UNP, the SLFP, the JVP, they are all in turmoil, right? Since
I thought you were going to say they're all in collusion.
Some political parties,
right?
But
overall, they're in
turmoil, severe turmoil,
okay.
And since 2015 January, the change of government. Then subsequent to that, they robbed the central bank twice. And the waste, corruption, then various agreements with the US government, signing of AXA, the proposed signing of SOFA, and the MCC. All these, incidents, events, various developments have caused massive turmoil, right? And almost all the political parties are unable to field a candidate. You take the UNP. General Field Marshal Fonseca recently said that the leader of the party, that's Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe, should be the UNP's candidate.
Now, it makes sense, because you tend to lead.
So. Yes.
You tend to lead from the top.
Yes.
We do that here at Newsfirst.
Yes. So some others feel that Speaker Jayasuriya should be the candidate, because Mr. Jayasuriya played a big role in preventing, President Rajapaksa, former President Rajapaksa and President Silisena's project last year. October 2018 project.
Okay.
So they feel that it should be Karu Jayasuriya. Then there are large number of UNPs who feel that it should be Sajid Premadasa, the former president's son, and he has a huge backing. I must tell you, I mean, he had done his work always with the UNP. He never left the UNP, like Mr. Wickremesinghe, always with the UNP.
Yeah.
And there are other people,
and largely,
and some people speculate it can be partly Champika Ranawaka, right? And according to President Sirisena, when he tried to force Mr. Wickremesinghe out of the premiership, he offered the leadership of, he wanted to appoint either Karu Jayasuriya, Sajid Premadasa, Ranjit Madhuva Bandara as the Prime Minister.
Right.
Right. So, at the end of the day, it's not clear who is in control. And some UNPs suggest that the UNP should field a candidate, because the last time it was they fielded a common candidate in 2015, and 2010 also a common candidate. The UNP fielded a candidate last in 2005 when Mr. Wickremesinghe contested the president election, and he lost. He lost. And I must also tell you, Mr. Wickremesinghe could have easily won that election if the LTT did not interfere. The LTT deprive the Tamil people of...
Is that a convenient analysis?
It's not convenient for us. I am not a UNP, but I must tell you the truth. As far as I see, if the Tamil people were allowed to vote at
They may not have
2005
voted. They
election.
may not have voted at all. I don't know.
No, I mean, the LTT and the Tamil Nation Alliance ordered the Tamil people not to vote, and I inquired from senior TNA people at that time, and they confirmed. And nobody contradicted that statement. And so I must tell you, so the UMP is in turmoil. They are not sure whom to field. That's why when the media ask them, they say, we'll field a person who can win the election. We'll field a person who can, transform this country and all, because they are not sure, because there's nobody in parliament today. I mean, they are all tarnished.
Well,
You take the UPFA,
yeah.
there's the same situation. That is why they are talking about former Defence Secretary Kotabai Rajapaksa. There's nobody in parliament today.
Yeah.
Right? For politics, he's an outsider. Right? So, it's a pathetic situation for us. I'm telling you, and the JP.
But it is clear now. It is clear from, but a lot of people are talking about it. They're all quite clear that one person has emerged for the United National Party, and that appears to be Sajid Premadasa.
I agree with you. Yes.
So why the secrecy? Why can't they? It was like in the past. If we go look at the political history, JR would have actually happily gone for yet another term. But it was pointed out to him that there is only one man, and that was Premadasa. And it was left to the others to jointly put forth the case for Premadasa. And how right they were, because, he won. So in the same way now, as far as the United National Party is concerned, we can openly see this Mangala saying something about Sajid. There's Kabir Hashim, who, after having resigned over the Easter episode, and in spite of the Prime Minister, his leader, giving instructions
Not to?
He rejoins the cabinet, and when asked by somebody, one of his colleagues in the party, senior fellow, known to be ARW man, he said, I only did as my leader wants me to. And of course, if you examine, a few days before that or a day before that, Sajid Premadasa had called for them to come back and rejoin. So you can see that there is, and also amongst the grassroots, especially when things are as economically bad as they are now, and I'm sure Mrs. Ferdinando at home will be able to verify this, the cost of living has gone through the blessed roof, right? It's gone through the roof, and things are getting tight. And when people are having a bad time, their only solace, their only comfort is to hanker and to hark back to the good times, whenever it was. And it appears that the good times in people's minds, at the grassroots levels, especially if they're UMPs, it goes back to this name, Premadasa. From a PR perspective, forgive me if I'm wrong, Mr. Premadasa, the name Premadasa is eminently saleable.
For us,
So why the secrecy?
You cannot compare the situation now and then. President Premadasa faced the JVP at that time. There was a huge insurgency. And
Here we have nowadays.
no, I mean, I as a voter,
Yeah.
a citizen, I believe there's nothing wrong. I think Sajid Premadasa, as the UMP deputy leader, he has all the qualifications to contest. There's no doubt about it. But you must also realize that he must have the full support of the parliamentary group,
Yeah.
the working committee, and the current leader. Those things are important. And Sajid Premadath himself repeatedly said, when inquired, from various media raised this issue with him, that he will come forward on the basis of this approval from the leader, the working committee, and the parliamentary group. But talking about Kabir Hashim, I must tell you, for us, there cannot be two leaders, no. Now in the UMP, Mr. Vikram Singh is the leader, right? So I do not accept, when the leader says that one person cannot take back the portfolio, he cannot negotiate with the president, no, because president is the leader of the SLAP and the UPFA. So this is wrong. I think it's high time, if we want to rectify this situation for us. Going back.
Okay.
Yeah, because in the first place for us, nobody asked Kabir Hashim or Halim or all these people to resign. It was the joint opposition and other political parties and a section of the civil society.
But some of the monks were asking them to come back as well.
Their campaign was against all Ceylon Makar Congress leader, Rishad. Right, these people resign on their own. Now, then, a few days later, we saw, I think, Mrs. Gamage, then Buddhika Patirana and Lucky Jayavardhana. They too received portfolios as acting cabinet ministers without receiving permission from the party. Mr. Vikram Singh told them, you cannot function in this capacity because it's against.
But can he seriously can he really do that to Mrs. Gamage? Because after all, she is the wife of Daya.
No.
And the chap has been ever so helpful to the United National Party.
No, that's true for us, but I'm telling you, but if you want to rectify this situation,
do it.
People, the members of parliament, have to respect their leader. You cannot, operate outside the party, Now, the former president Rajapaksa also did the same.
But I'm glad you're saying this, because if you, on the one side, everybody says Mr. Vikram Singh will be on the side.
The problem is the parliament, See, these people contest from one political party, then switch sides. Then the defeated candidates are brought into parliament. Then the president has the power to pardon criminals, right? Something wrong in this country for us, right? It's high time we leave out all politics and realize what is wrong with this system. A person rejected by people must not be allowed to come to parliament on the national list.
That's right.
How many defeated people are in parliament today?
It's a bit like getting...
It's about 10, 12 people.
It's a bit like getting Mr. Sangakkara to bat again after he's just been clean bowled.
Definitely. So I think we should address all these issues. We are having the presidential election between November and December this year. Then the parliamentary elections in the following year. So we must have a system. The parliament, the political parties must discuss all these issues and take tangible measures. No defeated candidates in parliament. People cannot switch sides, and criminals cannot be pardoned. The president, I believe, has no right to pardon a person convicted.
I think you must, the ultimate, there's nothing wrong if the ultimate act of clemency is with the president. And so if you have, if you've been given a death sentence, then the ultimate act of clemency could be with the president, and only to do away with that and say, well, I'll commute it to a life sentence.
No, actually, for us,
at least that.
I think the Justice Ministry long time back, we had a system, that there's a system where in case somebody is found guilty and sentenced to death, there was a way they could address that issue. Right now, but I think one person must not have the power to release a person found guilty by the courts. See, the executive must not challenge the judiciary. So what is the point in the courts, when you're found guilty for us, right? That's it. You cannot go to the president. So there's no, it's high time all the political parties, the civil society and the media examine all these issues.
See, I mean, it's a
thoroughly.
bit like Mr. Julian Assange. He didn't petition the Queen of England, and she didn't issue a executive order, or not. She's not executive, but she's the monarchy, a majestic order, and say, Mr. Assange, we release you because we feel sorry for you. You mean that kind of thing?
That's different for us because Assange situation cannot be compared with our situation. That the UK and all the countries cooperating.
Yes, but what I'm saying is that if you're being given a death sentence, if you're being convicted by a court in Britain, Her Majesty the Queen doesn't wake up on her birthday and decide to pardon 100 people.
No.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, so I think we should stop this nonsense, right? All the presidents, I think, all of them.
It only adds to the imagination that the president is literally God, literally king.
Yeah, because see, for us,
that's the perception.
We must have a system, no? We must have a system, right?
What is this system? This system includes foreign advisors in all different places.
For us, the Americans funded the parliament to the tune of $13 million.
Yes.
That project was signed in 2016 September. To what? Good governance, right? So do we need American advice, their scholarships and foreign trips to govern this country, right? Do the right thing.
You probably don't need it, and I don't need it. But there are others who quite gladly
if our lawmakers know, our lawmakers know that if you are rejected by the electorate, they are out of parliament, nothing will happen. See our system, you have the parliament, you have the president, one person, parliament 225, provincial councils 455. Then over 8,000 local government members, right? So these people, this lot keep on moving from one place to another, right? So, and the taxpayer, and then we receive American assistance, India runs our ambulance service, right? So what is going on? So do we need a parliament?
Yes, because after 71 years, we still don't have a proper parliament. Just think about these people who have to travel by train and work in Colombo. Sometimes some people are traveling all the way back up to Mathura.
Yes.
And if you look at the trains, jam-packed, like sardines, people hanging off the ends. Is that what the people deserve? Is that what the people deserve? Why can't they be treated as human beings? Forget about anything else, just as human beings. Why is it too much to ask that our fellow citizens get a seat, comfortable seat on a train, and that they can travel in comfort and at some speed? Are these comforts and speed, are these the sole preserve of politicians, Shamindra?
They don't care for us. They don't care.
They don't care.
They don't care. Because see, in the system, you have the presidency, the parliament, the provincial council, local government, the foreign service. So the people, the politicians, their friends, their associates, the civil society, all these people benefit, right? So they have no interest in the public. The ordinary people are there to pay the taxes, I think, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure you are fully aware what's going on in this country, right? The parliament meets 8 days a week. They don't attend parliament.
8 days a week?
8 days a month.
Month,
right?
Yeah.
Sorry, and they don't attend parliament.
Right.
When they attend parliament, there's a special allowance. In addition to their monthly salary,
it's only a small
members,
amount.
in addition to their monthly salary, they are paid 100,000 rupees. The lawmakers, right?
That was Ranil Wickremesinghe did that.
But
Yeah.
all the MPs accepted.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, so
that.
if Ranil Wickremesinghe as the Prime Minister and Ravi Karunanak as Finance Minister offered 100,000, other political parties should have said no. They accepted. Right? I tell you, for us, this joint opposition fellow, they blame Mr. Wickremesinghe and Ravi Karunanak and Mangala Samaraveera for everything. But they accept everything.
But a young man who appeared on this show some time ago was newly elected as, I'm struggling to think of his name, but it'll come to me now. He was newly elected as a member of the CMC, and when he received some invitation to attend some event or other, it was like to train them on how to be in their new position, I think, to familiarize them. It was down south. And when he was told how much this all cost, when he came back, he went up to the cashiers and gave them a check in reimbursement. It was 8,000 something rupees. That's it. His name's Migara Gunaratne is the person.
Maitri's son?
Maitri Gunaratne's son. This is what he did. He was on my program at that time, and I asked him.
Governor of the Central Province.
Now he's that, but this was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Now then, the thing is, so what I'm trying to say is there is provision. So they can, if it just pops into their bank account every month, 100,000, and if they didn't want it, they could always write a check and send it back to the consolidated fund. I know other people who've done that.
Yeah, maybe a few, but for us, you must realize how the system works. Now here, on the invitation of America, our Supreme Court judges and Court of Appeal judges, they visited the US, I think 2018 and 2019, anyway.
Yeah.
All senior judges, the Supreme Court judges.
Yes.
So do we, for us, there are various projects offered by various people. Now, I can tell you, on a request made by the Parliament of Sri Lanka, the government of, not the government of, say China, invited more than 150 members of Parliament to visit China. The last group is leaving on 14th of this month, right? So the last group invited by China consists of Muslim Congress MPs, then Tamil National Alliance, the UPFA, and the joint opposition. See, for these people, for us, you have various programs funded by foreign governments, and all of them benefits, Supreme Court judges included.
Well, yes, I just wanted to say that I was waiting for me to say, for you to stop, for me to say this. Supreme Court judges, how right is it that in their retirement they accept positions like Mr. Sripavan, for example, ended up as on the board of a bank, and I don't know how much of it may not be a conflict, but it doesn't have the right whiff about it.
I really don't know for us. I think we should compare the situation with India or Malaysia and see how they do it. I do not like to comment on something I do not know.
But what I'm saying is I find it somewhat distasteful. It's like this. It's like this. Let's take Mr. Ravi Karunanak now. Let's say that he was still let's take Mangala Samaraveera. He's the finance minister. And all of a sudden, because recently Mangala Samaraveera said that he wants to retire. That's what he said at some point, and he gave it.
In Matra, he said it.
Yes, he said that. Now, what I'm saying is, if he was to retire as the finance minister, and he suddenly was appointed as the with some grand title as the group finance director of, I don't know, Jonquils, something big. I think I'd have a problem with that. Or if he suddenly accepts a major job with some corporate who've had a close link with them. Or let's say he joined McKinsey.
No, Faraj,
Then there's a conflict.
Faraj, like this, it's, as I earlier said, in the system, you take Hezbollah, right? For us, you take Hezbollah.
Yes.
He contested the last parliament election on the UPFA ticket.
Indeed.
He lost.
Yes.
Right? Then the SLAP appoints him to parliament on the national list.
Yeah.
Right? Then he shifted from parliament and appointed as the governor of the Eastern Province.
Yeah.
They bring in another defeated candidate, Shanta Bandara, as member of parliament through the national list.
Yeah.
Then Hezbollah receives the appointment as the governor of the Eastern Province in January 2019, and after the Easter Sunday attacks, he was forced to resign.
Yeah.
See, that's one example. You take Prasad Karyavasam, right? A career diplomat,
Yeah.
a veteran, an experienced officer. He was sent to Washington as an ambassador
Yes.
in 2014 July.
Yeah.
He replaced Jalya Vikramasuriya. He was in Washington for 8 years, a non-career diplomat, a businessman for 8 years. But nobody questioned why he was allowed to function as an ambassador in Washington for 8 years.
And
8
then
years.
this was
During President Rajapaksa's time, from 2008 to 2014, Jalya Vikramasuriya
Yeah.
was an ambassador in Washington.
He's the
Then
one-
he was replaced by Prasad Karyavasam in July 2014.
Right.
Then Prasad Karyavasam returns as he comes back to Colombo as the foreign secretary.
Yeah.
Then in that was 2017. Then he retires from service. He is appointed as the advisor to the parliament.
That's what I mean.
Yes.
That's what I mean.
So there's a network. So it's not the UMP.
I think they should be
SLP.
deported.
I think
they ought to be
No,
deported.
that's why, Farhad, I think all the people should examine. They should examine what's going on in this country, right? People don't realize what is happening. Right?
So
That's why the defeated candidates can come in, right? If they are unable to accommodate all
But they
these
shouldn't
rogues
be.
in
Yeah.
parliament,
Yeah.
they are given diplomatic appointments, right? So it's a system that you can be.
And these diplomats, not to be left out, these diplomats also almost shamelessly are picking sides. If you remember during the so-called October crisis,
Yeah.
do you remember there was one particular day when the speaker said that the public gallery was closed, no members of the public, i.e. the people of Sri Lanka couldn't go to the place, it's their place, Parliament is the people's place. The people couldn't go there, but a whole stream of diplomats.
So who invited them?
Well,
who invited them?
There you are, that's what I'd like to know.
They were invited by Parliament. The
By the speaker.
The speaker.
By the speaker.
Yes.
By the speaker. The same speaker who is now being touted as a presidential candidate.
No, for us, it's like this. I appreciate Mr. Jayasuri had the strength to face that, right? So, whatever the other allegations against him, whatever, you must realize that at that time, he had the strength to oppose that project.
Back to my question, we've spent nearly half an hour discussing what is the big deal? Why the secrecy? Come out with it openly and say, and why it's not this United National Party, this SLFP doesn't belong to any one person, right? So when Chandrika says, well, I don't know, we can believe her because, she doesn't know because she's not technically the leader of the party, is she? So she doesn't know. Why is it that when you ask Ranil Wickremesinghe, they'll say, oh, well, Ranil Wickremesinghe will have to make the decision, he'll make the decision. That's nonsense. What about this document? constitutional UNP. The same with the SLF.
Farah, I am telling you today, we have reported this.
Yeah.
You know, there are foreign factors also. When
So you mean to
General
say,
Fonseca contested as the common candidate,
Yeah.
the US ambassador, the US embassy in Colombo instructed the Tamil National Alliance, instructed R. Sambandhan, honorable member of parliament, to vote for General Fonseca, right? So there's international, there's interference. There are outside factors. For us, they must take remedial measures. The parliament, you take the independence commissions. I think the independent commission, the National Election Commission, the Elections Commission, should inquire into this, right? Here, embassy in Colombo directs a political party to vote for General Fonseca, having accused the war-winning army commanders of killing 40,000 Tamil people. See,
a figure put together by Gordon Weiss.
Not only him, there are the
Somebody wrote the book. That's how it all started.
I think the parliament, the media, the civil society should really inquire into the situation. And if you can, we must promote this. Defeated candidates must not be allowed in. President should lose his right to pardon criminals. And people cannot switch sides for personal benefits. I think
they shouldn't switch sides, full stop. It should be a by-election that way. Shamindra Ferdinando, as citizen Ferdinando, will you join me and saying that we should tell all these people who are acting in a treasonous manner, who are eroding our sovereignty and our pride in our country, we should tell them all to take a big hike?
Agree with you, and I must also tell you for us that people must identify themselves. Don't allow politicians representing the parliament, the local government or provincial councils to speak as ordinary citizens. Indeed. Don't allow that to happen, and that's a mistake.
That's true. It's been good talking to you. That's almost like an ad, but it is good. It has been good talking to you, and I do hope that you continue in your service to the public to keep them informed. And can I finally, very quickly, ask you, what, in your own words, Shamindra Ferdinando, as a journalist of some repute, of some standing, of several years of experience, not to give away your age, but with all that expertise behind you, tell me, as quick as you can, what is the contribution, what is a journalist's contribution to a fit and proper and an equitable society?
I think we should report the truth. Of course, there are restrictions, and we must...
Have you ever been frightened?
No, for us. I mean, my position is I have the freedom in the island.
Yes, but when you write things that
but I always believe that if there's an issue with the paper or the television station you work, you must give it to one of your friends. I mean, if I'm unable to put something, use it in my paper, I can share the information with you. I mean, somebody else can do it. I can go to some other station.
But when you found people like Lasantha Wickrematunge being killed, when you found Upali Tennakoon being attacked, when you found, many years before that,
Richard de Souza,
and so on, when you saw all those things happen, you were still a journalist then.
Yes, I work under Mr. Wickrematunge, Lasantha. Yes.
So when you found all these things happening, did it ever frighten you?
I am still here for us. I've been working for the island for 32 years and I will never give up. Never.
Were you ever frightened?
Of course, sometimes you feel, you are not sure what's going to happen, but still I believe that we have the strength to face whatever.
Shamindra Ferdinando, thank you very much. We still don't know why there's a need for secrecy in politics, but
there's a need for that because they're in turmoil. They're not sure.
Turmoil.
And I tell you, the people have lost faith in this system. All the political parties.
Right.
They are all considered rogues.
They are all considered rogues. On that note, thank you very much, and that's the way it was on Newsline. Take care, have a great day, and of course, God bless.
Newsfirst, Newsline with Faraz Shaukat Ali.